Greetings and a happy Monday to you. It looks like we're to this point that we survived day one of our Digital Decisions Technology for Educators IT 442, and we're on to week 2. And unfortunately, I can't be there today, so I'm recording this a little bit early. I'm doing my homework ahead of time. You'll learn as teachers that it's way harder to be absent and have to create plans for being absent than it is to actually be in class. But I do apologize for missing out today. Hopefully you've found your groups and you're ready to work. Okay, as in all sessions, my goal is to make sure that during the session we create, communicate, collaborate, and think critically. So as you go through the lesson today, think, do we do that? And if we don't, let me know, because I want to work on that. That's one of my goals for this class. Okay, so today you're going to be working with your team on creating a lesson that you're going to present to the rest of the class on a specific technology framework. I'm using the word framework. That's kind of a loose thing. These things fit into several different categories, but you'll see what I mean in just a minute. So you're going to create a lesson using a presentation tool. That presentation tool can be PowerPoint or Google Slides or Office 365 PowerPoint or Prezi or whatever tool you want to use. And it should be about 5 minutes long. And I think I'm going to give you this instructions more than once. I forget what's on each slide. And then the other thing you're going to do is create a short quiz using a classroom response tool. And so on April 11th, when we meet in face-to-face again, each of the groups is going to present their lesson, like I said, about 5 minutes, and then they're going to provide this quiz to assess the learning on their lesson. So I'll explain a little bit further. Okay, as I said, I've already said some of this, but we're going to have 6 groups of 3. We've got one group that'll be 4, and we should have assigned the groups on Wednesday, but since this is Tuesday, I'm guessing that we did that. So we should have assigned the groups on Wednesday, and you should know which group you're in, and each of the topics, there are resources provided. There's a link to resources, and I'll show you that in a minute. You're going to create a 5-minute lesson sharing the main points of your topic and then the short quiz, and you're going to share this on April 11th. Now the reason that we're doing this, these instructional technology frameworks, is they are, I call them filters. It's a good way to think about why we use technology and how to best effectively use technology. So when we're going into a lesson, or we know a specific skill that our students need or something that they need to understand, the idea should never be, I want my students to use a certain tool and that be the goal of the lesson. There should be a reason to use that tool that's going to help them in the learning of whatever the content area is, or whatever the idea is that you want to get across. And so these frameworks help us to kind of take a look at technology in that way, and to actually use it in purposeful ways, and not just kind of as an extra, something that looks cool, but actually something that's useful and that can transform the activity and the learning in the classroom. I always think when you're using technology in the classroom, not always, but most times, you should try to think about, what can I do with technology that I couldn't do without technology? So how can technology make the lesson better? Because technology can be a distraction. It can just be more work. It can actually, take away from whatever, like I said, be a distraction to the lesson. So you need to be sure that you're actually thinking through the process and thinking, what about this technology that I'm going to use, this activity, what about it will actually make the learning better for our students? So I explained that you're going to be creating this little 5-minute lesson about the framework that you'll see in a minute. And then you're going to be using, and I said using Google Slides here. You can use other ones if you want. But Google Slides is probably the easiest. It's easy to embed on your digital portfolio, etc. But that's completely up to your group. But you're going to be using a tool to get feedback from the group, so a classroom response tool. And I have 4 listed here. There are others, but these are 4 really good ones and kind of different ones for you to try out. So I would suggest that your group look at all 4 of these tools and choose one of them to create their little 5-question quiz. So Plickers is the lowest tech of all of them. It uses usually a teacher device. It can even be the teacher's phone. And then the students all have cards, printed cards that they use. And it's really cool to use. And it's a great tool for classrooms where all of the students don't have technology, which is pretty much most elementary classrooms. So Formative is a tool that can be used with any kind of it's a web-based device. So, and you can create all kinds of different kinds of questions with Formative. The one that for me, stands out with Formative that is different than some of the other tools is that students can draw their answer. So sometimes that's appropriate, sometimes it's not. Maybe you want them to show how they solved a math problem, or I don't know, explain a concept where they're actually drawing. So Formative does all the other basic things as well, but in addition to that, they do the drawing piece, and we will play with that in class. Socrative is another tool. You can do multiple choice, short answer questions, different kinds of questions with Socrative. So you can try that one out. And then Kahoot is the one that gets a lot of excitement. It's more of a game, and there's music in the background, and it's timed, and that kind of thing. So a lot of kids really like it, and teachers really like it as well. It's kind of a short-lived thing. It works for a little while, or in some cases, but it can be overused. But all of these are good tools to use for this particular activity. So you as a team can choose which one of the tools you want to use. And on the 11th, you're going to be ready with your 5-minute lesson and your 5-question quiz to share with the class. Okay, so here are the different groups. So group 1 is going to have the SAMR model, and I'm not going to speak much about them because I want you to do the research, and then I don't want to steal your thunder, and I want you to be able to share with the rest of the group. So this link here will take you to, and you can go back and look at this whole slideshow on a link. So this is my little video, but this is all the slideshow is available to you too. So this link here will take you to resources about the SAMR model, and you can use that in your presentation and your quiz questions. The TPACK model is what Group 2 is going to do, and again, there's links here to help you understand what the TPACK model is. ISTE standards for students. Group 3. Group 4 will be looking at Bloom's revised taxonomy, which is a little bit different than Bloom's taxonomy. So take a look at these links and get some information to share with the rest of the group. Group 5 is going to be working with the 4 C's, and I will say, these are my 4 C's that you see. Some people say 5 C's, some people say 6 C's, but that you can get the idea of that and use that to share information about that. Group 6 is going to be looking at the ISTE standards for teachers. And so just get an idea of, what teachers should be doing in order to make sure that they're providing the students with the opportunities they need. So each group is going to have their lesson, and the links are here. You can obviously Google and look for other things as well, but I've tried to provide what you might need to create a 5-minute lesson here. Okay, so your next steps. So first of all, today, with your group, you're going to create your lesson and your quiz. And then on your own, you're going to write a blog post. And your blog post is going to be about your goals for this class. So beyond getting an A, what do you want to learn from this class, and how do you think it's going to help you in your future educator goals? So you're going to blog about that. As always, I would just encourage you to use more than text in your blog. In fact, your whole blog can be a video, but you can use images, infographics, all kinds of things. If you're using images and infographics and things like that, make sure you give credit where credit is due. So that's always a good thing. It's very easy to track back on a blog to see, if somebody has used something without permission. So make sure you kind of pay attention to that. And so next steps also on Wednesday. Again, Wednesday will be our normal kind of virtual day. And this Wednesday, I want you to check in on Canvas. You don't have to meet together with your group on Wednesday. There will be a video lesson and resources on creating a professional learning network. And then there'll be a prompt on Google Plus for you to respond to. Also, you can just check in. We should all have our digital portfolios started, but you can, I highly recommend, as you create things, go ahead and put them in your digital portfolio. Do any reflections that are possible. This may be too early for reflections. Also, your choice activities. You can take a look at that sheet and see if any of the stuff that you're doing right now actually fits one of those choice activities, and just kind of start planning that way. So I always feel like I sound like my parents from when I was always a procrastinator as a child, and I know you're not children, but I always feel like that when I say, keep up with it, don't, wait till the last minute to get this done. But if you can, that would be great. So just kind of make it a habit of checking your digital portfolio. What have you done during the week that can be added to your digital portfolio? Checking the choice activities. What have you done? What can you do? That kind of thing. So make that kind of a habit for this course, and you'll stay up to date, and you should be good. So I will check in again with you guys on Wednesday at 4 p.m. on Canvas, and we'll go from there.